Okay, here's one. It is believed in certain circles that all public crypto algorithms are breakable. Breakable by our government and probably a few others. Okay? All right. Enough, big enough building, to fill with computers doing nothing but that. Okay. And by the way, he has my permission to take my photo, even though he's not an official photographer. And all of you can do that, fuck that camera roll thing, I don't care. But, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's Mike Love that's talking, exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, it just seemed kind of silly because, I mean, have you seen the cameras that are in the hotel that are getting all of this going in and out anyway? Who do you think... We're in Washington, D.C. Who do you think has access to those tapes? Come on, think about it. Jesus Christ. All right. Okay. Now, this is, in some certain circles, they're saying that the reason we won the crypto wars wasn't because of the efforts of the community, the EFF going in there and all this other kind of stuff we did to say, hey, we need to be able to export crypto and stuff. One camp of people say, oh, well, we let you think that you won. Actually, we just can break them all now. So, what the hell? And it looks like we gave up, and now all the evil criminals of the world will now use this crypto that we can break. Here's a good one. SSL was crackable in real time in 2001 at OC 48 speeds. I have heard this from two different people that swear it's true. Okay? Now, of course, whoever has the power to do that, wow, that's impressive. 128-bit SSL. What encryption algorithm? That more than one. I don't know specifically which ones, but I was told more than one.
Route 13.
It was a. No, it wasn't Route 13. I think it was Route 26. They did it twice to make it nice. And roughly the same time frame, I heard the 1024-bit keys were breakable brute force in a day, 4096 in 8 days. Well, exactly, what kind of hardware? Now, like I'm saying, I'm just letting you know that there's just things I've heard. I mean, going to these conferences and stuff and running into security people, running into crypto people, and having these odd conversations that you have, oftentimes, believe it or not, while sober, you run across these little tidbits. I'm just bringing them to you, things that I've heard. I'm not saying that I'm not going to put any credence in there. This is one that I've heard, which is interesting, that PGP is breakable, not due to a flaw in the crypto, but in the protocol. And that the technique is classified, but the fact that you can break PGP is not classified. That's what I've heard. Like I said, you don't have to take my word for it. And there's, I've actually had conversations with some of the PGP folk about this, and they say the guy that told you that, who was he was a former teacher of crypto breaking at the NSA, they're saying he's nuts. He's saying he's not. You be the judge, I mean, he could just be telling me this shit, so I'll tell you. So you'll all get paranoid, okay? Yeah, well, you gotta do what you gotta do. But like I say, well, yeah, what do I know? I'm just some guy up here saying random shit. All right, let's go through some crypto scenarios here. The shell account. All right, let's say that I wish to encrypt files. I want to keep them safe from the admin. Got a nosy admin on the box, or I've got just a friend I don't trust that's root on the box or whatever. Dangers would include, for this, would be that once I put in my passphrase, it's going to be in RAM. And that if someone had administrative access, and I don't, they can actually go in there and look at it in RAM and whatnot. It is possible during this time, depending upon the OS and conditions that are going on it, that the passphrase actually could be written to swap. Okay? And people that do computer forensics, one of the things they do is they do look at the swap file to see if there's anything interesting in there, and occasionally they do find stuff like that in there. Another one is that the original plaintext file is typically still right there on the hard drive. It may not have may have done just a simple delete on it, but the contents of the file are still there. And again, the contents of that plain text file, even if they were securely erased, or somewhat securely erased, I'll get into that in a minute, may have actually made it to swap. You know, so, and another thing to keep in mind, there's some, I can go into some other stuff like, I'm not going to go into it though, it's just, dealing with like file slack and the space between chunks and all this other kind of stuff. We're not going to go into that. Again, also, a root user could, they could send some type of signal or do something bad, and and then we get a core dump or just something they can do to cause your program to crash, and remnants are still in memory, and then they could potentially see what the passphrase is. And these are just a few that I came up this morning while recovering from last night's drinking, typing up that I threw in here. Again, on the shell account thing, if you can use a program, and let's say that the way it should work, okay, is that you put in your passphrase, and then immediately that passphrase is turned into some type of hash, and then you zero out the passphrase. So at least you don't have this plain text passphrase hanging around in memory for anyone with authority on the box to see. And you can take your pick of hashing algorithms for practical purposes. I know people talk about, oh, MD5 and SHA-1 have got issues and stuff like that, but I mean, again, realistically, I mean, are you really going to be worrying about MD5 collisions in memory while hashing right before you do some other operation on it? Probably not. The program the program should be able to securely wipe the original plain text, and that actually might be impossible on journal filing systems or file systems that do journaling, because what will happen is part of journaling is just trying to keep track of, so in case it can reconstruct actions that you performed on that drive. So it is possible forensically to go in and possibly recover that, even though you think you're wiping it safe, you're really kind of wiping a one part of the journal that's got it there. So you may not actually get it securely wiped. This is, just to give you an example, this is an issue on Linux using, like, say, ext3. Okay, if you use ext2, you can actually go in there and securely wipe it. Use 3, you're going to run into some problems because it does some pseudo journaling type stuff in there. And again, consider the threat model and how likely the admin is going to be to target you and your files. And if you're really thinking about it, I mean, do it on your home system anyway. Yes?
Mark, you're looking at storage on the system, but if you can back up one level and go to keystroke lockers, you can get around all that stuff if your stuff actually captures the passphrase going in.
Yeah, keystroke loggers. Yeah, he mentions keystroke loggers. Yeah, I actually, in one of the, because I did write a program that tries to do that, and I've got in there a whole list of like about 15 or 20 different things that I thought of, one of them being keystroke loggers. I mean, if the box is owned, I mean, that's the thing. The other thing to keep in mind is, like, you may trust the admin implicitly, but, if the admin's not a good admin as far as keeping the thing patched up.
Well, there's a 0 day and he didn't know about it.
And he didn't, yeah, exactly, or 0 day, and then kaboom, all your encrypted porn is now compromised. Or what if what? Yeah, what if you can't trust the admin? Exactly. What if you are the admin and you're drunk? And you start, fucking up, and it's like, whoa, and then people own your shit. I mean, it happens. But, right? Am I right? Okay. Free email and anonymity, okay? This is one that is kind of gets me. You want to use a free email service, but you wish to remain anonymous, okay? Now, the dangers include IP addresses of users are logged at these locations, so you're losing some anonymity there. The mail spool could be handed over to someone that asked for it, with or without a subpoena. They use a subpoena when you say no. If they ask and they say, oh, sure, go right ahead, you can have it, then no subpoena is needed, believe it or not. Huh? We're getting there. We're getting to, you mentioned Tor, we're getting there. What you have to do if you're really going to do this kind of thing is you have to separate your identity from the spool and just assume others are reading.